Hello. So I've been doing 4-star only Abyss clears for a while now, but I never got out of my way to make guides about it because there was already a lot of people doing that. However, over the past few months, I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers kinda stopped doing it, either from a lack of interest or because of the HP scaling becoming higher and higher. So I decided to turn on my Twitch stream for the very first time and start recording the footage for this Abyss guide. If you want to catch me live, you can find the Twitch link in the description, and let's get straight into the guide. We start with the Overseer device, which is the most annoying boss in this Abyss in terms of team restrictions. I decided to go with a Hyperfridge team with Lila because she's the only 4-star character that can single-handedly apply enough cryo for this guy. And you will see me use Cookie's Burst a lot whenever his shield is up, because with Lila's cryo application, it can trigger the Superconduct reaction, which does count as a cryo hit and helps dealing with the shield a bit faster. Apart from that, there's really not any strategies in this fight, you kinda just apply cryo and the boss just stands there without even attacking you, so we'll take that time to talk about team options. The teams I'm using in this video don't really benefit from them, but the leyline disorders are actually a pretty big deal here, and they're not too restrictive this time. The cryo damage buff in the first half can make any cryo carry really good, whether it's in a freeze team, or even a good old reverse melt team with Xiongling. Pyro melt carries like Gaming, Arlecchino, and Mawika are also really good here because you can easily fulfill the cryo application requirement while still having a strong team, but the second half does push you to have some pyro, so try to make sure you have enough pyro characters left for the second half. Also, if you have a strong team that doesn't apply quite enough cryo for this guy, like a Ganyu Melt team for example, you can get past the first chamber with a bad time, easily clear the rest with your Melt team, and come back to this chamber replacing your Shielder with Lila for example, which will mess up some of your melts, resulting in less team damage, but it can help deal with the shield specifically for this guy. In the second half, I decided to go with a Xiongling Overload team. For the first wave, we just go to the side, and even despite using an overload team, keeping those guys grouped up was not too big of a deal, so we make quick work of those little Saurians, and we reach the Wayward Spirit's Picker. You can deal a bit of chip damage here before she summons her copies, and here, Bennett and Shivers are both really good at dealing with the copies, allowing us to get all of them down within a single Bennett burst, and still have enough time to snapshot all of our abilities. And talking about snapshotting, since my Bennett was already holding a 4-piece Noblesse, and our 2 DPSs are Fischl and Xiongling, 2 characters that can snapshot buffs, I decided to give a 4-piece Tenacity to my Chevreuse, so that we can snapshot an extra 20% attack. Now, I had a lot of pyro here, but you definitely don't need that much pyro to deal with the copies. A solo Bennett can take care of them by himself, and something worth noting is that if you're using either Sitlali or a Roron, you can stun the copies with a charge attack, and it will also take a percentage of their shield away. And then it's just a matter of defeating the Spirit Speaker before she summons her copies a second time. Okay, I did a little oopsie here, but we got it. In the first half of the second chamber, we have 3 waves of random mobs, and honestly, there's not much to say here. Basically any team should be able to easily deal with them, there's no elemental checks, they're not very tanky, and it's all single target. Just rotate through your abilities and you should be able to deal with them pretty easily. This may be a little bit of trolling. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing that. There's no need here. It's not hard enough to justify it. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it because it's actually pretty easy to do. I would like to freeze this guy so he doesn't run away.
Alright.
In the second half, we have an Elite Eremite followed by a Wyob and 2 Avatars of Lava. We set up our abilities in front of the Eremite so we can quickly deal with the Crocodile that's going to spawn behind us, and focusing him is the priority since it's going to reduce the Eremite resistances. And here, I decided to stall a little bit in order to wait out my Xiangling's burst cooldown so we can use her burst before the Wyob steals our energy away. After second thought, it probably wasn't the most optimal play since I think I would have had enough damage to break the Wyob's shield in time even without Xiangling's burst, but it worked out in the end, so it doesn't really matter. After we break the shield, we immediately start a new full rotation. Make sure to snapshot Traverse's tenacity on both Fischl and Xiangling, and finish off the Wyob. After that, we have the 2 Avatars of Lava, and while they do have increased resistance to Pyro, you can see they have a little bar on top of their health, which you can fill up by applying Pyro, and whenever the bar is full, they take a lot of damage. So if you have a team like this that applies a lot of Pyro, you can actually kill them surprisingly fast, despite their increased resistance to the element. Then we have the double Wyob room, and here we run to the Geo Wyob on the left and quickly set up all of our bursts before it steals our energy. The reason why we focus the one on the left first is because the Electro Wyob at the other side of the room will eventually teleport to us, making grouping pretty easy and consistent. Just like the previous Wyob, we quickly reuse our abilities after his shield is down, and this is around the time where the Electro Wyob will slowly walk up to us and teleport on top of his Geo sibling. If you have AoE abilities, you can deal damage to both of them simultaneously, but here I made sure to prioritize the Geo Wyob first so that we can kill it before it summons his shield again, as that would be a massive time loss if we let him steal all of our energy. And after killing the Geo Wyob, the Electro one loses his shield from collateral damage, so now we can fully focus on him, and hopefully kill it before it summons another shield.
Oh no, I trolled. Oh no, I trolled so bad, wait. Please don't pop your shield. Let's go! Alright.
Now we have the final room, and I forgot to switch Traverse back to Tenacity in this run, so we're going to deal a bit less damage. With proper positioning, you can somewhat consistently group the 3 Yumkasaurus, although I did a pretty terrible job at that here, but they like to dash and run towards you anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. We still managed to kill them in one full rotation. Then it's time for the big Dendro Snorlax, so we use all of our abilities again, and here one thing you can do to help a little bit is to run behind him to force him to slowly turn towards you, which is going to stall his next phase by a few seconds, and that can help you delay some of the annoying phases. After a while, he will spawn his Dendro Balls, and detonating them with Pyro will deal a lot of damage as well as stunning him. And about that, those detonations count as pyro damage, so if you have a team that applies a bunch of Hydro for example, you can end up vaporizing those big explosions, which does quite a bit more damage. Also, although it's very inconvenient, you can apply Pyro to yourself by walking on the burning ground, and infuse a swirl with this Pyro to detonate the Dendro Balls, even if you don't have a Pyro character in your team. And after that, he does the belly spin attack, and here you can squeeze in some extra damage by using your bursts and vulnerability frames to stay close to him without getting knocked away. And something to keep in mind is that he actually doesn't deal that much damage during his belly spin attack, so if you have a lot of resistance to interruption, like with Zhongli's shield or during Mewika's burst, you can just face tank it and keep dealing damage. We don't have that here though, so we just stick to the invulnerability frame strategy until he goes back to the middle, and we finish him off.
Please! Let's go!
Alright, that was it for this video. I hope it can help some of you with your abyss clears. Feel free to ask some questions or share your tips in the comments. You can see my build in the background here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!